Hello my lovelies, and welcome to the NPC Reviews. Life is often full of uncertainty, and at other times life makes things abundantly clear. True, you learn something, struggle to come to a conclusion, and then life throws a fiery curveball of something larger at you. Like that one time you were trying to pick out a dress and you settled on the tube dress of kaleidoscopic doom, only to discover it was the center of one of Nyarlathotep's plans. Not just you. Anyway, Parn has a similar dilemma in Record of Lodoss War Episode 3, The Black Knight. The decisions and fiery curveballs, not the dress part. Our story continues in
the land of Marmo, ruled by the Dark Emperor, Beld, lies on an evil island to the south of Lodoss. If
Lodoss is already the accursed island, no wonder this place looks so wrecked. I mean, I know he's an evil overlord, but could he invest in some kind of sanitation infrastructure? Yes? No? Anyway, a sleeping dragon. That might be important later. But for now, Lord Beld declares,
the time has come. At last.
Highness.
All Lodoss will resound with my power. By this sword, I so swear it.
The declaration is interrupted by Carla, here to lend her service to Lord Beld, but the Black Knight is wary, and they stare each other down. Why is he so wary? Probably witch cooties. Meanwhile, in the Sunnylands, Parn is training with Gim while the others look on, only to get his rump handed to him.
The boy couldn't kill time if he wanted to.
Oh, snap!
To be fair, he did win his last battle due to a higher level spell buff. Elsewhere, some riders go out looking for someone, while our dear Parn reflects on his training. As it looks like he's going to practice some more, Deedlit finally has a reason to talk to the lad.
How would you like it if someone decided to hack your arm off?
Surprised and somewhat dumbfounded, introductions are made, and needing a topic to keep the conversation going and show off a bit, Deedlit tries.
There are fairies inside all living things. Didn't you know that?
Really? Oh. For her help saving the village, Parn says,
thank you.
I guess you are a pretty nice boy, aren't you?
Because ladies dig good manners. This sweet moment is interrupted by uniform-wearing kobolds. Ah, yester editions when kobolds were canine folks as opposed to dragon groupies. Memories. Anyway, Parn headstrongly tries to fend them off while misreading Deedlit, bidding her to run, only for her to show him the error of his assumptions, only for a dark elf to show up and add to the challenge rating of the encounter. After a failed attempt to deal with the dark elf and the kobolds, I mean, he doesn't do a bad job of not dying, but he's like first level. So with Deedlit returned, they settle on running when the rest of the party finally shows up, with the dwarf v elf banter starting up.
What are you playing with here?
I suppose this looks like play to a dwarf.
But the opposing forces catch wind of something and flee. Right after that, those men from before show up.
Hey, we're saved!
And then get thrown in the clink. After some protestations from Parn, he is quieted by,
scream all you want, but if their captain's not here, it won't do you any good.
A small-time robber named Woodchuck. After some barbs are exchanged, we cut to the Dark Elf reporting to the Black Knight.
Strangers, you say? Perhaps King Fan of Wallace has already been alerted. Or worse.
But Carla is like, you mustn't overlook this, isn't that your job? Don't tell me how to do my job. But yes. So scoot along, Scootaloo, and destroy the fortress where they're at. Don't you just hate it when co-workers act like managers? At that time, Beld and his wizard are ready to conquer Shining Hill and bring Canaan under his control. I mean, look at it. It's a pretty nice hill. But he also disregards his wizard's godly beseeching, which I'm sure won't come back to bite him later. From here, we get some backstory.
How did you wind up here?
Same old story, kid. Bad luck.
Just bad luck?
Alania's got some big trouble coming. So I thought I'd just build up a war chest and then hightail it to another kingdom. Fellas just wasn't looking out for me this time.
I imagine his prayers typically go something like, I know I promised Wallace never again, but I know that you know what a weak-willed person I am. We also get some more exposition.
Don't you know that Marmo troops have landed and are already attacking Alania and Canaan?
And Gim and Slain are worried. But we also find out that Wallace has the best knights. Parn learned something. The captain returns and apparently has a great respect for clergy and releases the party on Ato's word. #priestperks. From there, Captain Chever confirms Woodchuck's information, Marmo is invading, Canaan is lost, and they're waiting on word from Alania. From there, inspection time.
Alanian men have always prized their scholarship above all else, but somehow these men seem different.
The men who come here are different. They have too much strength and don't fit into regular Alanian society.
Keeping all of your violent men in the same place, huh?
Captain Shepard takes no offense at this and invites Parn to test his skills. After a poor showing and some supportive commentary from his friends, the captain sees something in Parn and makes this offer.
What about it, Parn? Why don't you train here with us? You have some potential, and Alanian needs strong men to fight.
Me?
Punctuating it with a pounding and leaving him to think. Later on, evil is gathering. Kabod, 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 kabod. And the sleepy guard gets turned into a California raisin. Just rub some jerkins on that, he'll be fine. Which triggers Slane and Deedlit's something is up sense. While this is happening, Parn is coming to a conclusion.
Yeah, Wallace has the best knights. Canaan and Alania are full of smart guys who really don't care about the army.
Very well. Wallace it is.
Woodchuck tries to talk his way out with Parn, but the attack commences and Parn dashes off, promising to come back for him. Things are crazy, and the Dark Elf returns, but Parn forgot his sword. Luckily, Deedlit swoops in and arms him. He struggles to get his bearing in the chaos, and as soon as he does, Carla makes her presence known. However, Ashram...
Who needs you?
Ooh, workplace drama! Parn goes back for Woodchuck, much to his surprise.
You okay?
Of course I am. If I bought it in a place like this, I'd never live it down, my friend. But you really can.
Aw, friendship. The fortress seems lost and Deedlit is having a tough time of it, but luckily the captain gets a surprise attack and fells the Dark Elf. He's hurt bad and bids them to leave.
Then why don't you come with us?
I still have a job to do. You heard me. Now go.
Captain!
Parn, become a worthy knight.
Parn tries to follow, but is convinced to flee as he was told. As the fortress burns, with the last of his life, Captain Shepard tries to take down Ashram, but Ashram is just like, please, and finishes the captain off. The fortress burns and Carla looks upon her works pleased, as Ashram gazes at the fleeing adventurers and Parn gazes back. A clear path into an uncertain future is presented, but at least the party has a thief now. On the technical side of things, the voice acting for Ashram and Belt started a bit rough, but get better as the episode progresses. Also, the exposition is given a lot more smoothly than in the first episode. They're talking to each other and clarifying any gaps the other characters might have in their knowledge. What's more, the animation is generally better and the shortcuts better integrated. Hopefully this is a good sign for the future. There's a lot happening in this episode, and it's mostly in the relationships. We finally have faces for our villains, Beld, Ashram, and the Wizard, although Carla still remains aloof and inscrutable. We know she wants to balance the scales of history, but what does that mean? But to this end, she seems intent on aggravating Ashram and placing Parn and company in the thick of things. A fiery curveball, you could say. Still, Carla seems to be working towards Beld's betterment, and so Ashram is left in a frustrating position. Time will tell how this shakes out. On the other end of the alignment spectrum, we have our heroes, with Deedlit now openly traveling with the group, and with Woodchuck's addition to the group, we have a full party. The bonds of friendship are solidified, as are the bonds of flirtation. I just kind of imagine Deedlit was up in the tree thinking, how can I approach him without seeming weird? He's about to do something stupid to a tree. That'll do. But between the banter...
That hot-headed fool.
Looks like you've lost a student.
Says who?
His skills really need help.
I know.
And the shared battles, they are definitely shaping up into the party we saw in episode 1. If the last episode didn't say so, this episode makes it clear that Parn is the leading character here. He gets the most screen time and development. Where the last episode put him on the path, Captain Shepard and Ashram light the fire to move forward, and it's the relationship with the good captain that makes me go, a bit. I joke about his character, but nothing per se is wrong. We know some things about him. He respects the faith, he cares about his men, the outcasts of his society, and it is not unreasonable that he would see something in Parn. And couple that with Parn's separation issues regarding his father, I can definitely see him being tempted by Chebra's offer, though it is his father that causes him to choose Wallace. What I mean to say is that I wish Chebra and Parn had a bit more time together to bond, and thus add some more weight to Parn wanting to run after the captain as he made his final stand, particularly some one-on-one time. It still works in the end though, and the story does move along well. All in all, this is a good character episode that shows that Parn is on the path towards being the knight he wants to be, with some good additions from Woodchuck and Deedlit. Despite the short time with Captain Chebra, the story moves along well, and I'm interested in seeing how things proceed. I'd say give this episode a watch. Speaking of bonds, I promised Cthulhu Barbie that I would help organize her wardrobe, so until next time, fare thee well, my lovelies.